My ex-husband, who thought I was infertile, left me 15 years ago. When he ran into me and saw my son, he trembled. That chance encounter was just the beginning of a tumultuous journey where old secrets resurface and hidden truths come to light, challenging everything he believed about the past, present, and future. Hey there, folks. I'm Linda, and welcome to Linda's Stories channel. I hope you're all ready for a good tale. So, picture this. It's a sunny afternoon, and there's Catherine sitting by herself at a restaurant table by the window. She's gazing outside, enjoying the lovely day, waiting for the waiter to bring her lunch. Little did she know, a surprising encounter was just around the corner. As Catherine headed to the bathroom, she accidentally bumped into a boy walking down the hallway. She said sorry right away, but when she glanced at the man with the boy, she was shocked to see someone from her past. It was Michel, Catherine's ex-husband, whom she hadn't seen in 15 years since they divorced. Feeling a bit surprised by the unexpected meeting, Catherine felt a mix of surprise and discomfort as he came closer. However, she stayed composed and greeted him politely. Michel and Catherine had always dreamed of having children. From the start of their marriage, they tried hard to make that dream come true, but it just didn't happen. Years passed, and they still couldn't conceive. Catherine started to worry that something might be wrong and suggested they see a doctor together to figure it out and maybe try some treatments. But Michel, being stubborn, refused to go. He came from a big family and thought the problem must be with Catherine, considering his own family's fertility history compared to hers, as she was an only child. Using their family backgrounds as evidence, he started blaming her for being infertile, which only made things worse between them. Eventually, their frustrations and misunderstandings grew so much that they ended up getting divorced. Despite the scars from their past, Catherine decided to greet Michel politely, recognizing that time had passed since they last met. However, her warm attitude was met with coldness and disdain from Michel. "Are you alone?" "Still single, I see," he said arrogantly, his eyes reflecting superiority and indifference towards Catherine. With a gesture implying his supposed superiority, he introduced the young man beside him. "This is my son, Austin," he announced proudly, as if it were a personal accomplishment. "He's a real genius, just like my new wife, Sophie," he added, nodding towards a woman at another table, a hint of pride in his voice as he talked about his new family. Catherine was astonished by Michel's arrogance. She had hoped that after so many years, things might have changed between them, but his behavior showed otherwise. It was clear that he was still as proud as ever. However, little did Michel know, something was about to happen that would shake up his entire family's destiny and change the course of his own history forever. As they talked, a tall and caring young boy approached Catherine. Seeing the concern on her face, the boy, with a protective instinct, asked, "Is everything all right, Mom?" Catherine's face lit up at the sight of her son, and she replied warmly, "Yes, everything's fine, my dear. I'm happy you're here. I ran into someone from the past while waiting for you." She gave her son a loving kiss on the cheek, appreciating his care. "I want you to meet my son, Michel," Catherine continued, smiling as she noticed the surprise on Michel's face. "This is Nathan." Michel couldn't conceal his surprise upon discovering that Catherine had a son. His eyes widened, reflecting a whirlwind of thoughts as he realized the boy was already a teenager, about 15 years old. Before Michel could say anything, the waiter arrived with Catherine's lunch, breaking the moment. Taking advantage of the interruption, Catherine excused herself and joined her son, leaving Michel lost in his thoughts. Returning to his table with his son and wife, Michel appeared distant, his mind elsewhere. While Sophie and Austin enjoyed their meals, Michel seemed preoccupied, his thoughts consumed by a single idea. Could Nathan be his son? Was it possible that Catherine was pregnant when they separated and never told him? But why would she keep it a secret? These questions consumed Michel, overshadowing his ability to enjoy the present moment. Before he could find answers, Sophie's voice broke through his thoughts, snapping him back to reality. As days passed, Michel couldn't shake the issue from his mind. He dreaded facing the truth that haunted him. How would Sophie react to learning he had a child from his past marriage? And what about Austin? How would he feel discovering he had an older brother? The idea of confronting Catherine, fearing she might demand financial support, only added to his anxiety. Despite the swirling uncertainties and doubts in his mind, Michel couldn't ignore the overwhelming curiosity pushing him to uncover the truth. How could this be possible? Michel questioned himself relentlessly. He was convinced that Catherine was unable to have children, especially after years of failed attempts to conceive together. Michel's experience with Sophie had been vastly different. A few years after his divorce, he met Sophie, and she soon became pregnant with Austin. Upon hearing the news, they swiftly decided to marry, embarking on a new life together. These contrasting circumstances only deepened Michel's doubts and confusion about the possibility of Nathan being his son. Michel found himself caught in a profound internal struggle. On one side, he yearned for the truth, but on the other, he dreaded the potential upheaval in his life if Nathan turned out to be his son. His pride urged him to maintain the facade of a perfect family with Sophie and Austin, convincing himself that Nathan and Catherine's reappearance would only bring chaos and disruption. Yet, Catherine's persistent silence on the matter intrigued him further. Why would she keep Nathan a secret from him? This mystery intensified his curiosity and deepened his doubts. Meanwhile, Sophie began to notice her husband's distant demeanor. Michel always seemed lost in thought, and it concerned her deeply. Determined to uncover the cause of his distress, she confronted him, ready to face whatever truth lay behind his troubled behavior. Feeling trapped and unable to keep his worries to himself any longer, Michel finally opened up to his wife about his suspicions. Sophie was taken aback by Michel's revelations, her eyes widening in disbelief and apprehension. "Do you think Nathan could be your son?" she asked, her voice betraying surprise and uncertainty. Taking a deep breath, Michel mustered the courage to admit his suspicions. "Yes, I believe it's a possibility," he confessed, his voice tinged with doubt. Concern furrowed Sophie's brow. "But Michel, this could turn our lives upside down. Are you sure it's wise to pursue this truth?" she asked, her apprehension evident in her tone. Michel nodded resolutely. "I have to know, Sophie. If Catherine won't tell me the truth, then I'll arrange for a DNA test," he declared firmly, his decision firm and unwavering. "No, Michel, please don't do this," Sophie pleaded, desperation creeping into her voice. "We shouldn't get mixed up in their lives," she reasoned, attempting to sway her husband. "Let's just leave the past where it belongs and focus on our future." Sophie tried everything to dissuade Michel from pursuing the truth, convinced it was best to leave things in the past. She thought she had convinced him, but Michel remained resolute in his determination to uncover the truth. Against Sophie's wishes, Michel decided to contact Catherine and arrange a meeting, determined to seek answers. Catherine was taken aback when Michel reached out to her after their unexpected encounter at the restaurant. She never expected to hear from him again, recalling his arrogance from their past. Initially hesitant, she declined his invitation. However, Michel's persistence eventually persuaded her to agree, albeit reluctantly. "Catherine, there's something important we need to discuss," Michel began, sounding unsure. "It's been weighing on my mind since our meeting at the restaurant. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I need to know the truth," he asserted firmly. "What's this about? What do you mean?" Catherine asked, puzzled. "You know exactly what I'm referring to," Michel snapped back. "I'm talking about Nathan. If he's my son, I deserve to know," he declared emphatically. "Oh, so that's why you were so surprised at the restaurant," Catherine chuckled, putting the pieces together. "What's so funny?" Michel demanded. "I deserve to know the truth." "No, Nathan isn't yours," Catherine affirmed, frustrated by Michel's insistence. Unsatisfied, Michel pressed on. "Then whose son is he?" he demanded. "You, a single mom with a 15-year-old son. He has to be mine. I just don't understand how that's possible. You were infertile." "You always jump to conclusions," Catherine shot back, annoyed by Michel's accusations. "Nathan isn't yours. I've already told you he's Gregory's son, my husband's." Michel was taken aback, and Catherine clarified. "Nathan isn't 15. He's tall like my husband, but he's actually just about to turn 14. There's no way he could be your son," Catherine asserted. "After our divorce, I went to see a doctor to figure out why I couldn't conceive and maybe explore treatment options," she explained. "What the doctor told me there was nothing wrong. I was perfectly healthy and capable of getting pregnant. And that's exactly what happened. Once Gregory and I got married, I became pregnant with Nathan, and later on, we had 2 more sons, Evan, who is 10, and Theo, who is 7. After the confrontation with Catherine and the revelation that Nathan wasn't his son, Michel felt deeply intrigued and disturbed. Catherine's words made him question everything he believed about his fertility and his relationship with Sophie. Angry and confused, Michel tried to make sense of it all. He couldn't understand how, coming from a large family, he only had one child with Sophie, while Catherine, whom he thought was infertile, had 3 children with her husband. Ultimately, Michel decided to take Catherine's advice and see a doctor. Sophie, thinking she had convinced him to move on from the past, had no idea what Michel was up to, and he couldn't anticipate what he would discover. The medical tests revealed a truth that rocked Michel to his core. He was sterile. This revelation triggered a flood of questions about his marriage to Sophie. How could he have fathered a child with her if he was sterile? This newfound knowledge cast doubt on the very foundation of their relationship. Michel spent a considerable amount of time lost in thought, contemplating the significance of this revelation and its implications for his life and his marriage to Sophie. He was faced with the daunting task of redefining his identity and role as a husband and father. Amidst the turmoil of this painful discovery, when he confronted Sophie, Michel was devastated to learn the truth about Austine. She admitted that during the early stages of their relationship, she had a brief affair with another man, resulting in her pregnancy with Austine. The revelation left Michel utterly shattered, feeling as though his entire life had crumbled around him. His pride and confidence in his fertility had blinded him to the truth for so long. Now he was confronted with a new reality that shook the very core of his beliefs about his marriage and his role as a father. Michel had to come to terms with this newfound truth. He found himself faced with the daunting task of rebuilding his relationship with Sophie on a foundation of shattered trust. Moreover, he grappled with the emotional challenge of reconciling his feelings towards Austine, knowing he wasn't his biological son but still loving him as his own child. This revelation marked a profound turning point for Michel, but he understood the necessity of forging ahead and reconstructing his life upon this newfound truth. This narrative underscores the vital role truth plays in fostering healthy and enduring relationships. Honesty, both with oneself and with others, serves as a cornerstone for nurturing mutual trust and respect. Moreover, the story serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of confronting our own biases and egos, which can obscure our perception of reality and hinder our ability to truly see those around us. Have you ever experienced a moment where the revelation of truth completely altered your perspective on something or someone in your life? If you found this story engaging, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Feel free to leave a comment with a number from 1 to 5 to indicate your level of appreciation for the narrative. Also, check out the video currently displayed on your screen. Until next time.